Can you even tell the difference between the different lavalier microphones? I'm not talking about the expensive lavalier mics like the ones from Sanken, Sennheiser, or DPA. I'm more interested in stuff that mere mortals like you and me can actually afford. In this video, we're going to test out 4 different affordable options, again, that non-pro people like us can actually buy. Heck, the most expensive mic in this comparison is just $99. Format's pretty straightforward. All audio was recorded directly into the Zoom F2, 48 kilohertz, 32-bit float. I've not processed anything other than normalizing the audio to negative 16 LUFs in post. Headphones are highly recommended, but certainly not required. All right, let's meet the contenders. Now keep in mind this is a blind test, so these are in no particular order. First up is a lavalier microphone that was included with the Zoom F2. I have no idea how much this would be on its own since it's included with the F2, but I guess somewhere in the $50 range-ish. Next is the newest microphone of the bunch and most expensive at $99, the Rode Lavalier II. Our third option is the Rode Lavalier GO. Now I've owned this for a number of years now and therefore have the most experience using it. I think it normally retails for about $79, but it may be on sale right now for about $60. Last on this hobo list for YouTube scrubs, love me some camera conspiracies, is the Sony ECM CS3. I've owned this one for about a year, but I rarely use it. It's marketed as an omnidirectional stereo microphone. How a stereo microphone can be considered omnidirectional is beyond me, but hey, it's just what it says. All right, enough jibber jabber. Let's get into the actual comparison. Okay, so now I'm going to begin testing these microphones, these lavalier microphones outdoors. I've chosen a place that is a little breezy today, and on all of these lavalier microphones, I'm setting them up with any type of wind protection that they have. So I'm not going to show you exactly which microphone that I'm using. I'll probably blur this section out so that you can do like a blind test, but obviously I will show you the results after I'm done here. So right now you're listening to microphone A. This is microphone A, and again, if it has wind protection that comes with it, then it's on there and it's part of it. If it doesn't, then you're listening to the audio without any type of protection on it. I'm not going to read anything standard. I figured you could just listen to my voice, see what it sounds like, and make a decision. Now again, everything is being recorded into the F2 32-bit float, 48 kilohertz. There's no settings whatsoever on this thing. You literally just press record and you are off and running. And in the headphones here, I am listening to the audio in real time so that I can monitor and make sure that I'm getting a good clean signal. So anyways, this is microphone A, and this is the test. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, now I am on microphone B. Again, this is microphone B, and it is a fairly breezy day here, so I think that's good. It will help show some of the features of some of these lavalier microphones as opposed to other ones. Again, everything's going into the little Zoom F2 here, and I am listening to it in real time on my headphones, being recorded in 32-bit float. On my camera, I'm actually recording into a video mic NTG. Not like that makes a difference to anybody here, because that's not the audio that we're listening to. Again, this is just a test of the lavalier microphones to see how these sound compared to one another. The quest here for the ideal lavalier microphone to use here with the Zoom F2 is on. Okay, that's probably enough audio for microphone B. Let's switch over to microphone C and see what we get. Okay, now this is microphone C that you're listening to. Again, microphone C, nothing has changed. I am still recording into the Zoom F2, and this is the sound of microphone C. Again, if there is any type of wind protection on the lavalier microphone that is supplied with the microphone, I do have that on the microphone. Again, this is a sample for microphone C, and it is a beautiful spring day here out in Boston, Massachusetts. Little windy, but that's okay. It's a lot better than it was even just a couple weeks ago, so we'll take it. Okay, so that should be enough sound samples for microphone C. Let's jump into the fourth and final one and see how that one sounds. Okay, this is our fourth and final microphone. This is microphone D. Again, if there is any type of wind protection that comes with the microphone, then I will have it installed on the lavalier microphone. But this is microphone D that you're listening to right now. And again, I have everything running into the Zoom F2. I know I'm sound like a broken record here, but we got to get some audio samples so that you can hear firsthand exactly what these different lavalier microphones sound like. And just listening to it in my headphones, I guess, again, I'll take a listen back when I download the footage and listen to it on my computer, but I can already tell that there are some significant differences between the microphones, especially with some of the accessories that are supplied with the different lavalier microphones. So I think it's going to be pretty obvious, at least for the outdoor portion, which one is going to be the winner, but I will withhold judgment until the end. So again, this is microphone D that you're listening to right now, and we'll do some indoor tests as well and see if there's as big a difference on the indoor tests as there are with the outdoor tests. All right, let's head inside and take a look at how they perform on the inside. Okay, now it's time for the indoor test of the lavalier microphones. So again, I am recording into the Zoom F2 32-bit float, and we're listening to microphone A right now. So this is microphone A. How is it sounding? Again, this is an indoor test. I've left any type of wind protection on, with the exception one of the microphones that I have actually came with two different covers for the capsule. So I'm using the indoor cover, if you will, for that particular one, but I'm not going to tell you which one that is until the end. So anyways, right now you're listening to microphone A. And again, this is all being recorded on the F2 in 32-bit float. Let's switch it over to the next microphone. Okay, now you are listening to microphone B. Again, this is microphone B being recorded in 32-bit float on the Zoom F2. Is there a noticeable difference between the two? I actually have no idea because I'm not listening to the headphones. The headphones that I have on right now are actually from my SM7B. I'm just recording an audio track on this so that I can sync it in post, which is what I've done with everything else on the video. So again, this is microphone B. You know what? Let me take a quick sip of tea here. Much better. Clear that palate. So microphone B, is there a difference? Do you like the sound of this? Let's check out the next microphone. Okay, this is now the third microphone, microphone C. Again, I have no idea what this is going to sound like because I'm not listening to it right now, but since it's being recorded in 32-bit float, who cares? Because no matter how it's recorded, I can recover it. If it's super loud, I can recover it. If it's super not loud, if it's super quiet, I can recover it. I mean, 32-bit float is amazing, but that's not the point of this test. The point of this test is to test out these lavalier microphones. So how does this one sound compared to the last two? Do you like it better? Do you like it worse? Does it have more body? Does it sound a little bit more thin? Everyone's voice is different, so your mileage may vary, but it'll be interesting to see how these compare on the inside as opposed to the outside. Again, if there's any type of like foam cover that a microphone came with, then I would put that on in this particular instance. But again, I mentioned that there's one microphone that actually came with two types of coverings for the capsule, and I've switched over to the foam for that particular lavalier microphone. So again, this is microphone C, and we have one more microphone to go. Let's do that now. Okay, now we are on microphone D, as in dog. So this is microphone D, and this is again the fourth and final microphone. How does this sound compared to the previous three? Does it sound better? Does it sound worse? Does it sound the same? It'd be interesting if you would just leave some comments down below and let me know what type of device that you're listening on, and can you even tell the difference between any of these? I think when I listen critically on headphones like this, and if you're at home listening on headphones like this, then chances are real good that you're going to be able to tell the difference between them. But the vast majority of the people, when I look at the metrics, most of the people are watching on their iPhone. And that being said, many of the people that are watching this channel are not currently subscribed. So if you are enjoying this content, maybe, just maybe, hit that subscribe button, maybe hit the like button. That really helps out the channel. If you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so that's enough for microphone D. I will now pull together all this footage from both outside and inside, and I'll take a listen, see what I think, and then I'll come back with some conclusions as to which one I think sounds the best with the Zoom F2. All right, you ready for the big reveal? Ta-da! Mic A was this one. The Sony ECM S3. Now I've got some black electrical tape on there, so that's why it looks a little bit different than what you would see in the picture. I just hate the way the silver looks, so I covered it up with that black electrical tape. So that was microphone A. Microphone B was the Zoom F2 lavalier microphone, the one that came with the Zoom F2. And since I've returned that particular device, I no longer have that lavalier microphone. We'll talk more about that later. Microphone C was the Rode Lavalier GO with the mount there. And then lastly, microphone D was this one right here, the newest one to the collection. This was the Rode Lavalier II. So what do you think? Was there a clear winner? There was in my mind, and it really wasn't even close. The Rode Lavalier II, despite having the most boring name out of all of them, performed best in both environments, both indoors and outdoors. I think part of the reason has to do with the design. It now has a forward-facing capsule instead of upward-facing. I'll just show you that here real quickly. I take off these wind muffs so you can see it's forward-facing as opposed to upward-facing. I have absolutely no idea why that's important, but I'm sure it is, you know, science. In addition, it was the only one that supplied a nice furry wind muff along with the foam cover. So here's just the wind muff. And you can see it just slides right on there. I think the only challenge I had with the Lavalier 2 was making sure that it was facing the proper direction, because there is nothing on there that indicates that it's facing, that it shows which way it should be facing. So you just have to like take the cover off and make sure that it is facing out. But the wind muff, I mean, just supplying that wind muff, it really did make a huge difference in that outdoor test. Now, the one that surprised me the most was actually the Sony, because I'd only used that microphone here in my office. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, here in the office, it sounded terrible. And I'm sure you heard that as well. But outside, it really came to life. You know, throw on a cheap wind muff and it's a very inexpensive solution that works, I think, quite well. Did any of these surprise you? They certainly did me, especially that Sony Outdoors. And again, I'm actually not really surprised about the Rode Lavalier 2 performing as well as it did, because it is the most current microphone and it is just a new design and it sounds really, really good. All right, so now just a quick note on the F2. I have since returned it, but it was because it didn't perform well. I just found that I needed something with time code, and the solution that Zoom offers is just incredibly cumbersome. I recently picked up a Tentacle Track E. They're also a 32-bit float recorder similar to the F2. They're more expensive, but they do offer a lot more features than the F2, especially when it comes to time sync. And of course, I will be reviewing that at some point in the near future, so be sure to come back and check that one out as well. If you did find this video helpful and even just a tiny smidge entertaining, make sure that you smash that like button and also click the subscribe button down below to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching. Take care.